It's time to pull those belts tight, race fans. The front stretch is coming at you, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. Now, here's Dan Taylor and Dirk Houston.
Well, good morning to you, race fans, and welcome to the front stretch presented by Joe's Karting at Council Bluffs, online at joeskarting.com. Fast-paced white knuckle racing just across the river on 23rd Avenue in Council Bluffs. Get over to Joe's today. Do yourself right with a little indoor kart racing. And Dirk, we can now officially say we are 1 week recovered from the O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels Car Show, Episode 1.
Speak for yourself. Recovered hasn't happened for me yet.
Well, I'm still picking up cleaning and putting cables and microphones and stands, and I'm still putting stuff away. What a great 2 days. I finally counted. We had 22 interviews that we are going to get to starting in the next couple of weeks as we get cleaned up, and drivers like Kevin Zeitner and Tony Hardesty.
Jim Blazina. We had a ton of people. We did some courtesy interviews with April.
Yep.
For the auto show that'll come up that you guys will hear about here in a couple weeks, which is kind of a neat deal. The
Nebraska Modified Light guys came by. Tom and Jimmy Grosso, along with Roger Hayden from Eagle Raceway, came over and talked. We
missed a couple.
Yeah.
Because of those stupid bands.
There's a lot of interviews we're going to get to, so that was an awesome weekend. And I think you said it best driving home after that when we were going back, and you go, can we make this a once-a-time thing?
Once a year
thing.
Yeah.
But because of that and because of the Precise Racing Products open house, Dirk and I really don't have to work over the next 2.5 months as far as the show's concerned.
Yeah, we'll do, and some of the shows we'll do a turn 1, turn 4, and some of them a very quick turn 1 like today and a very quick turn 4 like today, because we got a ton of interviews that we need to get played for time-sensitive stuff.
Speaking of that, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, and another thing we did was we did talk a little drag racing, and we talked some hill climbing.
Yep, absolutely. Oric is going to be online. Scary pictures from I-29 Raceway down in Pacific Junction, and kind of reading between the lines on their posts without a lot of support being physical, time, and money. It's going to be quite a while until they'll get opened up. I can't imagine they're going to be open before June or July.
Which, I mean, you hate to say it, but it plays right into Oric's hands.
Right, absolutely.
Everybody wants to race, going to have to go to Ottawa.
Absolutely, and so hopefully that'll work out for them, and hopefully everything at I-29 will be able to shake out and everything will be great. Make sure you follow their Facebook page. They're going to be asking for a lot of support, and hopefully the race community can be there for them. Today's show, 3-time Eagle Raceway champion Tyler Drueke joins us in turn number 2. Then we've got a cluster of interesting fellows. Stu Snyder, Nate Weiler, and Chad Koch joins us. You may have never heard of Chad Koch. That's because he's new to Nebraska. He came up here from Texas, and he coined the phrase, as far as we're concerned, mud turtles. You're going to hear that a lot. You've heard it for the last 2 weeks, and you're going to find out the story behind it in turn number 3 as he joins us with Stu Snyder and Nate Weiler to talk about their seasons. And then turn number 4, Rookie of the Year champion for the Nebraska 360, Shayle Bade, driver of the 03 Helga Construction Sprint Car, will join us in turn number 4. We'll come back really quickly to preview Martinsville. And Dirk, I am so giddy to say this. It's race week. In less than 7 days, weather pending, we're going to be at a racetrack. Friday night is going to be US 36 Raceway, the Rumble in the Bull Ring, night number 1, and then it heads up north to Eagle Raceway on Saturday night for Rumble in the Bull Ring, night number 2. Make sure you follow our Facebook page for any updates on that race is concerned.
I feel sorry for some of the racers having to go through, or how they're going to get through to get to the track with a bunch of the highway closures.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about Fontana, or otherwise known as Auto Club Speedway.
Kyle Busch dominated. He won on the Martinsville.
No surprise there. Kyle Busch leads on lap 200, wins his 200th NASCAR National Series win, which, by the way, we're going to maybe put together. I say we put together a little panel. Maybe we head down to Quaker Steak and Lube and we discuss this 200 wins, and we discuss some of the news topics that are hitting not only NASCAR but some of the upper series in the dirt worlds. Because maybe I've got I've figured out this live show thing and the remote thing and doing these recorded shows. I've got that figured out a little bit better now. So I kind of want to try it more often.
Yeah, maybe we can do that in a week or two and talk some of that stuff.
But we got to talk about the 200 wins for Kyle Busch. We talked about it a little bit last week during the extended version of the radio show that is up on the Joe's Karting YouTube page. If you want to make sure and listen to that, I think we kind of, in our minds, we put it to rest. But in the world of news, they don't want to put to rest. They want people talking about this, they being NASCAR, want people talking about this 200 wins thing as much as possible because it continues to keep NASCAR in the headlines. It's an amazing accomplishment, but you know what? Just go listen to last weekend's show, and then keep listening in the next couple of weeks. We're going to talk more about it when we have some time.
Yeah, we'll also talk about the qualifying fiasco at California, too.
Yeah, fiasco. What did NASCAR call it? What would they call it? Mockery of what happened to the qualifying, and I think they nailed it.
And, NASCAR did nothing wrong.
Oh, no, it's their fault.
But they did nothing wrong. I mean, the drivers did this one.
Yeah.
This is all on those 12 guys that decided to play whatever game they were playing. The beneficiary was Austin Dillon. Mm-hmm. Got himself a pole award. But, and everybody saved a little of tires, I guess, But, it was not NASCAR's fault.
But now NASCAR's got to figure out how to handle it because we had this really cool thing called with the group qualifying, and now the new aero package is ruining it. And we're not going to have this problem today at Martinsville because the aero package doesn't come into play.
The
aero package is not in play today at Martinsville. So regular horsepower, regular air ducts, regular everything.
Regular chrome
I guess
horns.
I shouldn't say regular because it's now the not the regular. It's now the minority is going to be in action today. But they're going to have to figure out something for next weekend's race. Point standings, Kyle Busch is extending his points lead. 2 wins, back-to-back wins, 4 stage wins, and 14 bonus playoff points. Joey Logano second, Kevin Harvick third, Denny Hamlin's in fourth, and Brad Keselowski comes back up to take over that top 5 spot. Let's take a break. We're going to come back at turn number 2, and we're going to talk to the 3-time Eagle Raceway champion, Tyler Drueke, driver of the number 12 sprint car, when we come back on the front stretch.
Every race car driver has run into the same problem. It's well past normal parts store closing hours, but you need that one to finish your car. The guys who brought you White Knuckle Racing by the River bring you Joe's Karting Racing Parts and Tire Store. Open until 10 p.m. Monday to Thursday and open until 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. A parts store that fits your after-hours schedule, and you can turn a few laps at Joe's Karting while you're waiting for your part to get pulled from their warehouse. joeskarting.com for more information.
Racers all over the country are discovering the benefits of powder coating their chassis. Powder coating offers a clean, even finish you will be proud to show off to fans and sponsors. Plus, it's a more durable surface. While looking beautiful, powder coating offers superior protection against corrosive chemicals typically spilled during routine maintenance. Bare frames start at $275 with estimates available if blasting or reworking is needed. Get your quote today by emailing Jordan F. at redoakfabrication.com or by calling 712-623-4911.
Every driver is looking for the competitive edge, and fantasy racing is no different. Get the competitive edge on your league by subscribing to fantasyracingtips.com. Chad Robb, a member of the Fantasy Sports Writers Association, gives you great insight, statistics, and easy-to-understand information for each race. He'll give you the competitive advantage that'll put Benjamins back in your wallet. From DraftKings to season-long NASCAR fantasy leagues, Chad knows who you should take each race. Turn your fantasy season around at fantasyracingtips.com.
We're hooked up in turn 2 and still showing the green flag on the front stretch.
Welcome back to the front stretch. Rolling into turn number 2. It is time to have another Red Oak Fabrication interview brought to you by Red Oak Fabrication. Get your chassis powder coated for just $275. Now, your car may already be done for 2019, but it's always a good idea to keep it in mind for 2020 because we all know we're going to need new chassis and new powder coating and new everything done. So shoot Jordan an email today at jordanf@redoakfabrication.com. jordanf@redoakfabrication.com. $275 for a bare chassis to be powder coated. If there needs to be some reworking and sandblasting done, then it's going to be a couple more bucks. So you want to give shoot Jordan an email today and get an estimate on it. Sitting down with us now, the driver of the number 12 RaceSaver 305 and 360 sprint car throughout the Midwest, and the reigning 2-time. Well, back-to-back. You've won more championships at Eagle Raceway than just 2, right?
Yeah, this was the 3rd year in a row.
So, 3rd year in a row. Gosh, I'm sorry. I thought you took a year off and let somebody else do it. But so 3 championships, weekly points championships in a row. Man, those are long, grueling years, aren't they?
Yeah, it seems like every year they get longer, too. So it's just it's an accomplishment just to make it to the racetrack every week, and then it's a really big accomplishment to prove that you're the best over the course of a whole year.
I think we talked to you at the end of last year, kind of got your plans. You were talking about trying to do a little 360 racing. You were definitely going to try to defend your title at Eagle Raceway and then maybe go down south into Missouri and race some weekly points.
I don't know. We probably were going to do that full SSN deal.
Mm-hmm.
There's no real conflicts with that or the Nebraska 360 tour, but we're going to start the year off and just see how it goes. I raced a lot last year. It was my last year before I got married, so I said we were going gangbusters and going to go race a lot because then I know how this deal goes. Priorities will change and it won't be the same. And so I expanding the trucking business, then getting married, all that happening, I knew this year might be a little different. So the more I think about it, it's almost might be a deal where I just go wherever I want to go. If there's a big show that I want to go to, we'll go to it.
Yeah.
If I only want to run one night a week, then maybe we'll just go to Eagle. It's pretty convenient, 1 mile from the house. So we'll just see how it starts.
Do you even need a trailer for that? You just drive it down there?
So I took the race car and the big truck and trailer. I took it into the Eagle Elementary School. Brandy, she used to be a para there. So I showed the kids the car, and one of the questions one of the little boys asked me was, why do you need such a big trailer for one car? I didn't really have a good answer for that.
A lot of spare parts.
Ben Shelton wrote a big article about trailers don't win you races. But
they don't.
On the other side, because there's always two sides to the argument.
If the trailer breaks down and you don't get to the track, that trailer won you that race.
Well, and it's nice to have a trailer because a nice big trailer like you've got backup parts to where if you happen to put the wrong gear in or something breaks, you've got spares. But then it also gives you shelter for if the rain starts coming or it's a really hot, sunny day, you can get into some shade inside that trailer. It gives you area to store the pop.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, so if the rain comes, it turns into a bar, is what you would say.
It's really awesome with what we got because it's got a lounge up in the front, and it's just got like a baseboard heater. So this early season shows, you kick the heater on, you can go sit up there and warm up, and you got to be paying attention, though. You could get locked up in there and fall asleep and forget what race is on the racetrack
Get
and
nice
whatnot.
and comfortable, huh?
Same thing with the air condition, but we've been to Eagle long enough, it's like clockwork.
Yeah.
We know they're going to start on time. We know approximately what time the heat races are going to be. You can go up there and take a nap and disappear for a little bit and then come back out. And I always like to watch the modifieds because they're the best indication of what the racetrack's going to do by the time we get to it. So it works out pretty nice. But, yeah, it's definitely not a need. Everybody, I went from having an open trailer when I first started racing junior sprints. Then we got a little 16-foot enclosed trailer. Then we got a 28-foot enclosed trailer. And when I started racing sprint cars, we traveled around running that ASCS Midwest tour. We did the 5-hour trips to Jackson in a Dodge pickup and a 28-foot enclosed trailer. We had to take the wing off, So everybody sees this big truck and trailer nowadays, but you don't get that overnight. I raced a lot of years, and we did it the old-fashioned way with the small trailer. Granted, I probably had it enclosed more than a lot of guys did, but it's really convenient, and it's basically a storage unit.
Well, that comfort level is worth probably a couple of tenths on the track, though. If you get to the track and you get out there for your feature and you're stressed, you're exhausted because you've been out in the heat or you've been working on the car in uncomfortable tasking conditions, you could lose your agility or your stamina by the end of the feature, which could count for not being able to hit your mark and not being able to knock down those great times.
It could, but I think that's all relative to your own personal circumstances. If you're used to that and that's the environment you work in, maybe you thrive in that environment where you're outside in the heat and in the sun, and maybe you thrive in that. Maybe you thrive in being comfortable. Like some guys are more picky about their seats and how the pedals are and where the steering is, and some guys, they just don't care. They just jump in it and drive. I think it's just kind of depends on who you are and whatever works for you.
I would think for a 25 lap feature, you ought to be able to put up with the pedals not being perfect or the seat not being perfect. Now if you're in a cup car and going to run 400 miles, it's obviously a little bit different deal.
I'm trying to justify the guy getting a new trailer from his wife, future wife, soon-to-be wife. Right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to help you out here.
I keep telling her we're going to sell the house and we're going to buy a big toter home. That's going to be her new house because she talks how she likes to be home and be around family. I'm like, well, you could be home all the time, but she doesn't see it the same way I do.
Doesn't work out like that, huh?
No.
I want to go back and talk about one last thing you were talking about. You're going to kind of feel out the season and see how it goes. If you're leading the points at Eagle, you'll continue to run weekly there. It's always interesting to me to talk to the guys about prefer to kind of bounce around and hit the big money shows or kind of have that freedom. And then some guys really like the routine of getting to the same tracks, parking in the same spot, knowing that your hot laps are going to start at a certain time, your heat races are going to start, and your features are going to start all at the same time. There's not that variable in there that can throw you off and make you a little uncomfortable. Do you lean one way or the other, or are you kind of in the middle?
I like running for championships, so that's what makes it hard to say that we're going to bounce around. But them big races, they pay a lot of money, like the RaceSaver Nationals, that's a big race. We want to for sure support that. I-80, they put on a couple of big shows for their 360 guys. We want to be sure and support that. Thank the promoters for putting that up, because there's no reason to have a big race if you get the same cars that show up to just a regular old weekly show, so to speak.
How do they pay at that 305 race at Belleville? Does that pay pretty good?
It does pay pretty good. That's a whole nother conversation in itself. No,
I think they run that on an Eagle night, don't they?
Yeah. Well, I called around, and that's a whole nother deal. They need to, in my opinion, they all need to work together on that. There's two different sides to that story, and they both need to meet in the middle. It's kind of like Democrats and Republicans down there in Congress. You need to meet in the middle somewhere. I don't care where. I don't care how. You guys just need to figure it out and get it done.
Well, Belleville could probably, pick up a bunch more cars just by moving that race to Sunday night.
Yes and no. That's got a guys come from a long ways away to that deal, though. That's what makes the RaceSaver Nationals work, is nobody works that Monday unless, and then if it rains, which it typically does that weekend. But then Monday's the travel day home, because it's already pretty much everybody, it's holiday, so everybody knows they're not going to be working. So that's what makes that deal work out really well. The Belleville deal's a little bit different, but there's enough RaceSaver cars around here in the Midwest now that they can make that work. And it's just the fans support it and the drivers continue to support it. And with the motor package, I think that's a big reason why the midgets fell off there, is the motors cost so much. It's kind of like my brother told me once, well, it's a lot easier to go race when you're going to lose $1 than when you're going to lose $100. You're a little more hesitant, and you protect your money a little more. So you have a $50,000 engine, you might want to protect that motor a little more than if you have a, let's say, $5,000 engine. Now it's all relative to what you have to spend on your race car, but that's a whole. I don't even remember how we got off on this tangent, but
I think coming back around to it, there's certain aspects that I think Roger and Eagle do a really good job with working with other tracks. But, Roger can be a stubborn SOB at times. And,
all promoters
I sat in that same pit meeting with you when he basically told all the drivers, you guys are welcome to go to that Belleville race, but if you do, I'm going to make sure you hurt. And I was really surprised when he said that, because it seems a little counterintuitive to what a promoter should be doing. You should be working. Obviously, you got to make decisions that aren't going to make drivers happy from time to time, because it's going to be better for the track. But that seemed like one of them where he was just kind of stirring the pot.
I called him. I mean, I don't want to get into this Facebook bashing thing, because that ain't good for nobody. I guess maybe I've grown up a little bit. But these guys that get on the message boards and Facebook, Twitter, and just run their mouth. And a lot of times, this guys, I see it. I know the guys, and they don't have a race car. And what are you talking about? You're not even in this fight. But I called him, and we'll keep those conversations to what me and him talked about on the phone. But my whole point was, don't make the racers make the choice. Don't put them in the middle. Not right. I guess, I don't know. I probably have bad analogies, but if you have two parents that got divorced, you still need to get along because you have a kid, and don't put that kid in the middle to choose. And that's probably not being real sensitive to that sort of situation, but that's kind of how it felt, because don't put the race car drivers in the decision to have to choose, because we shouldn't have to choose.
Right.
We all need to work together, because when we work together, this thing gets bigger. And it gets bigger, it gets better. We get more cars, it's more fun. Don't make this a political mess.
And not just the drivers, but the fans also.
Yeah, more cars means more fans.
When you make the drivers choose, you make the fans choose. Because as big as Eagle is, fans turn out for the names of the drivers. They want to see the big-time drivers racing each week. And if you're going to make the drivers pick, and some week, Tyler Drueke doesn't show up, well, the Drueke fans are a little frustrated because they came to Eagle tonight to see that 12 make laps.
And that's difficult also because we sold T-shirts, and everybody tells us how many Tyler Drueke T-shirts there are in the stands. Well, you got to support the people that support you, and you want to race in front of them. So that deal too is kind of tough on leaving Eagle to go somewhere else. But you also got to somewhat think about yourself and how you're going to make yourself a better race car driver and a better team. But yeah, it's just, you don't want to make anybody choose. All racing's good, and if we can all get along, hopefully we get more RaceSaver cars built. And then I think it's important, this Nebraska, it's no secret. I don't think I'm stepping out of turn here. Nebraska 360 group and some of the racers and just everybody with that group and everybody with the RaceSaver 305 group at Eagle, there's a divide. And I think it helps when Jason Martin, Tyler Drueke, Jack Dover, now Cody Ledger's doing it. You race both. There's room for both around here. Shayle Bade, she's another one. I'm trying to think who else might have done it here. Have raced both. You can race both. We all need to get along. The 360s, I think, have a place. The 305s definitely have their place. And if we all work together, everybody can thrive from it.
Yeah.
But if you're going to divide, and you can't be, I don't think there's enough race cars around here in Lincoln, Nebraska to be divided.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's a sprint car problem. It's a race car problem.
Yes.
I think that's where Joe and Lisa do the best of anybody with the Malvern Bank Super Late Model Series. They're very conscious about what they're asking the drivers to do, and they're not making them. I don't think they're making them choose. That he really tossed over for a long time of whether he was going to go to Knoxville and run a race, because it's outside of the area, is the distance he wanted to drive, and it was a little later in the schedule, and it was a big race, and so they came up and said it's an invitational only, no points paying night. So it was just kind of a fun night to get out in front of these big crowds.
I seen the highlights of that deal. It looked like it definitely paid off too.
Yeah, it did. It paid off in spades. He knows. They know what they're doing. They found a way to make that Knoxville race work because that was a big stage.
Joe's a smart guy. I don't agree with everything that he does on his racetrack, but I don't agree with a lot of things a lot of racetrack promoters do. They know more about promoting than I do, and I guess I probably know more about my race team than they know about my race team. So it's just, like I said, it's all perspective. But no, that looked like it paid off in bunches for him, and hopefully the guys that want to do it, they can continue to do it. And if they don't get enough support, well, they won't do it no more.
Right.
And so
thanks some of them guys that get up and down the road, them great sponsors you have.
Need to thank Valco Wheels, Drueke Trucking and Ranch, Zaz Farms, Jeffries Trucking, Piccadilly Rose Hill Ranches, Johnson's Farms, Angels Energy Service, Agri Builders, True Trucking, Eggert Towing, TD Signs and Graphics, Double Z Express, Jim Bell, Gordon Electric, Cornhusker 800, Haynes Family, Sardison Racing, Icon Pistons, Baya Headers, CSI Shocks, J&J Auto Racing, and Speedway Motors Racing Engines. And need to thank Jamie Moyle for my 360 motor. All those guys help us and get us up and down the road, and means a lot to have everybody on our race team, and hopefully we can have another successful 2019.
All right, Tyler Drueke driving the number 12 RaceSaver 305 and the 360 sprint car throughout the area. Any 410 this year? You going to buy a 410, go race the World of Outlaws?
I don't know about buy. Hey, I would love to race. I'd love to race a modified. I'd love to race a stock car. I'd love to race a 410. The more I kind of go through this deal, anybody wants to go race and you want to try it, I mean, let's go do it, because it's probably my ego. I think I can figure it out, and I think I'm smart enough. You give me enough time, I can figure out how to get it around the racetrack. But I would love to try some different stuff. I think it's proven that the more different stuff that you do, the better off you'll be. But money comes into my problem with doing different things. And
what about wingless?
Wingless? Well, I joke with Dad all the time and Mom, and now Mom and Dad have, I don't know, corrupted Brandy's mind on wingless racing. They think you're crazy, it's dangerous, all that good stuff. But like, well, if you don't wreck, you don't have to worry about it. It's like driving to work. If you don't wreck on the snow and ice, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, but the problem is 90% of the time the wreck's not your fault.
Yeah,
just like on the snow and the ice.
They had a big one there at Eagle, and me and Dad were standing at that opening on the backstretch, and the first thing Dad turned to me and said was, "That's why we don't race wingless." I was like, well, there went that. So as long as Mom and Dad are involved, our cars won't be wingless. If somebody else wants to give me a chance, Heck yeah, I'll go try it. I won 50% of my non-wing races in a mini sprint when I was younger. The only problem is I wrecked in 50% of them too. So,
Tyler, I always do love having you on the show. Great interview, and can't wait to see you out at Eagle. What's your first race on the schedule? Kind of tentative, weather permitting.
Yeah, weather permitting is that Rumble in the Bull Ring.
Okay.
We actually get married the week before.
Oh,
We're
really?
Gonna go to Nashville on the honeymoon, and we come back on Thursday because we got a race Friday.
We got a race on Friday. All right, Tyler, thanks a lot. Good luck in the season, and we'll see you at the track.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
The family with the 8-foot stainless grill is in. Bachelorettes hooting at the drivers are in. The tightwad dad doing a free parking fist bump.
Oh, yeah.
He's in. Nana with 6 speeding tickets. She's in. Cornhole aficionados and NASCAR newbies in and in. the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series race at Kansas Speedway. Saturday, May 11th, under the lights. Tickets at kansasspeedway.com. You in?
Finding a home can be the most important decision in your life. It's the simple factors of neighborhood, garage size, the school district, and commute that get overlooked by most realtors. Those are the aspects that Jim Blazina has been focusing on since 1988. From rental properties to your forever home, the Racing Realtor will work hard to get you exactly what you're looking for, and he can help list your home for a speedy sale. Contact Jim Blazina today, 402-980-8400, or jblazina@npdodge.com.
We all have that coworker that runs their mouth off at how great they are. They shot a 5 under par, 95-mile-an-hour fastball, bench press 375, brah. Wouldn't you love to shut them up by schooling them at Joe's Karting? Council Bluffs' premier indoor karting track, professionally designed so each corner is your opportunity to embarrass your coworker. Call Buddy for your next company outing at 712-256-5278. Joe's Karting, white knuckle racing just across the river on 23rd Avenue next to AMC 17.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Quaker Steak and Lube is the official watering hole of the front stretch and the home of MAV TV, featuring action from the Lucas Oil Late Model Series.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Located on Mid-America Drive in Council Bluffs.
Feather the brake and get back to the gas. Dan and Dirk are headed into turn 3 on the front stretch.
Welcome back to the front stretch. Rolling into turn number 2, and it's time to have another Red Oak Fabrication interview. If you haven't gotten your chassis powder coated yet, you can get your bare frame done for just $275. Any reworking and sandblasting that might need to be done, going to have a little bit more labor involved in it. You can just give Jordan a call today, 712-623-4911, or email him, jordanf@redoxfabrication.com, for a free estimate. Follow them on Facebook and check out all the different pictures they've been posting. They'll do seat backs, the seat shells, and little bitty parts and pieces. No job too big or too small for Red Oak Fabrication. They have an indoor facility, which makes turnaround times much quicker. Find out more, Red Oak Fabrication. Joining us now on the show, we got a panel, a bevy of guys. The old Superman Stu Snyder joining us on the show. Always do love talking to you, Stu. How you doing, bud?
Doing all right.
And we got a new guy on the show, Chad Koch, coming to us out of Texas. Chad, how you doing, sir?
Oh, just fine.
And then White Wall Nate Weiler, a new nickname for Nate. You made quite an impression last year at the RaceSaver Nationals. Was that the first year you'd done that?
No, that was actually the second year. In 2016, someone told me I should try it, so I figured, why not? So I went and bought some paint over at Home Depot and a paintbrush and went to town with it.
Well, Thomas Weeks was up in the booth, and I was up there talking to him when you were on the track, and he actually mentioned that he got a kick out of it.
Yeah, when he was here, his big motorhome was broke down behind the tranny shop back here, and spent a lot of time talking to him. Super nice guy.
It's those little things, though. It's kind of funny that you've got to find ways to set yourself out today. And you'd have never thought putting white on the side of your car tires would have done it. But that car stuck out like a sore thumb, and it made people attract to you, which Matt had to make your sponsors excited.
Yeah. It definitely gets a lot of attention. A lot of people, follow the car around, but let's try to do what we can do.
Good year for you at the RaceSaver Nationals. I think you made it up into the qualifiers.
Yep. I actually qualified into the A feature on my prelim night. Led most of Saturday night's feature, and then did my typical scenario, follow a lap car for too long, and slowly fell back, but still got it done. So.
Good year for you, though. Also talking, we talked about earlier, Stu Snyder joining us, and Chad Koch out of Texas coming up to Nebraska to race this year. Stu, good year for you in 2018, but biggest achievement of all, you got married, and now you got a little crew member on the way.
Yeah, we're supposed to have my son in April, the 19th.
Is that like a Wednesday?
Yeah, that's kind of what we're worried about. We're actually supposed to race the next day at Eagle. The doctors are kind of maybe thinking he's going to come early, so I had a dream that we won Cameron on the 29th, and the crew were loading up the car, and my phone goes off, and it was my wife. That she was going into labor and I needed to get to the hospital. So we drove all the way up and parked the truck and trailer in the hospital parking lot. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
Yeah, a very exciting time for you and probably nerve-wracking. I think, is this your first child?
Yeah. I'm what are you, you're scared, you're excited, you're everything all at one time. And I guess we'll just.
Is there another way you can be scared that we can put on the radio?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, it's okay. I got a tally going.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a new, I guess, step in my life. It's pretty cool.
It's funny that you talk about, for me, looking at what you guys do, that would scare the bejesus out of me, going out there and going in the lineup chute and getting the car started and the hot laps and getting everything warmed up. And fatherhood to me seems like it wouldn't be that scary, but you're on the other side of it. It doesn't bother you to go race these cars, and you're talking about raising some future American, and that's what scares you.
Yeah, for sure. That's everything with the racing, or I mean anything like that's never really scared me. You just kind of prepare yourself for that, but you don't even know how to. I don't know how to prepare myself for raising a kid and trying to bring them up right in this crazy world that we live in today, and keep the iPad out of their hand and everything else, and stay off YouTube. It's gonna be a creepy deal, I guess. But
they do have these big yellow books, raising kids for dummies.
Yeah. I almost thought about grabbing one. I seen one the other day when we were at the bookstore, getting Kenley some books. And
listen, our parents never had a book, and
nobody had.
Wait
a
a minute.
Book. You just
wait a minute.
Yeah,
maybe you should. Maybe we should get a book.
Yeah. I might need one.
You got a racer and a radio show host.
I'm just hoping he wants to do golf or something else. I'm hoping he doesn't want to be a race car
doctor
driver.
maybe.
Or a doctor.
That'd be a good car sponsor then.
If he has 10% Snyder blood in him, he's going to be a racer.
Yeah. The wife was already talking about that. She said as soon as he can walk, he'll be in the garage hanging out with you, helping you work on stuff. So it'll be fun.
Chad, you're making your way up from Texas. Where at down in Texas?
Wichita Falls, Texas. It's about 2 hours north of Dallas, Fort Worth. So we ran a lot of our races in Oklahoma. We used to come up to Kansas, and just because really, even though Ramey lives down in DFW, there's not a lot of sprint car racing.
Mm-hmm.
You can literally go to any racetrack and say, I drive a sprint car, and still half the people there aren't going to know what a sprint car is.
Really?
It's not sprint car country. It's what I call mud turtle country. No offense to anyone that races modifieds, but that's what we call y'all down there.
Well, the local track down there's an asphalt track, isn't it? I spent a week down there just south of Wichita Falls, not too far, right? Literally across the street from a state prison is a little Red River Raceway?
Used to be Red River Speedway, and then a guy named Craig Martin bought it and ripped the asphalt up, turned it into a dirt track. One of the best little bull rings I've ever raced. It forms a big old cushion up against the wall, and we're not going to get into it, but I had some part of helping with that track at a couple times. And
let's get into it. Let's talk about this.
We're not going to get into it.
Well, a big show.
Isn't there a little like an 8 mile drag strip right there too?
It's right next to the prison. So like you've got the prison, the drag strip, and then the dirt track. And a couple of the guys that work at the prison that I know said that the inmates would take bets because they could hear the announcer. And they would be betting, and
who was going to jump the fence and go steal a car?
That's actually let's see. Ramey promoted it for a little bit, and we tried to race on Sundays. And man, I told him, I said, "You're in the wrong area." I was like, people around here, they want to go to church and they want to sit at home and watch NASCAR. That's it on Sundays.
Well, I was down there. I want to say it was 2001. They ran, it was either a Tuesday or a Wednesday night show. It was the middle of the week.
Wednesday.
And he drugged me out there. It was like $2 to get in,
Kick a little asphalt.
And, I mean, it was, maybe a quarter mile, if that? It's small. I mean, it was like Playland.
One night they decided that they were going to have USAC show up and run pavement whenever it was pavement. And you want to know how many people were in the stands? This is how much this town knows about racing.
12.
There was maybe 20.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was
there wasn't 30 or 40 night I was there.
That town does not support racing, and there's no reason for me to be there.
Yeah.
I'm a race car driver, and I'm a race fan. So.
And is that where you grew up and were raised?
Yes.
Was in that area?
Yep. Born and raised, Wichita Falls, Texas.
What'd your dad do? Was he racing?
Let's see. Dad drag raced.
Mm-hmm.
Grandpa drag raced. I drag raced for like half a season, and I didn't like it.
No.
It's too. It was fun, when you're leaving the line and that's it.
Yeah.
It's out if you're out first round, it's a short day.
Yeah. And I'm not as good as the old man on the lights. I'll tell you that. That's one salty dude right there. But no, he works for an engine building company down there. They do a bunch of blown alcohol, dirt track stuff. I mean, everything, you name it. And That's what he does. He used to be a firefighter, all
Yeah.
that good stuff, but just kind of got into racing. I don't know, always been into it, but no one in my family really raced whenever I was growing up. Dad couldn't afford it, so I just kind of, once I graduated high school, I went and built a mini Sprint that I bought out of a barn for $800. Didn't know you could buy parts. Made all my own radius rods, built my own motor mounts. That thing was a piece of crap, but man, it was fast.
It was probably fun too.
Yeah. We used to race at this little joint called Fort Cobb, Oklahoma. Chris Bell was there. We used to race against him when he was about 12 years old. And I remember him climbing in a car, and I was like, what is this kid doing? He goes out and he like flips his butt off like the first time in an A-class car. I mean, just like flips, takes another guy out. The other guy gets out, starts hitting him in the head. Well, Chris has got his helmet on. I'm like, this guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
Well, he comes back. They put a spare wing on it and comes back from like 20th to 3rd.
Yeah.
Mind you, he's 12, racing against full-grown men. And I remember thinking, okay, this kid's something else. And then it just started escalating from there.
Yeah.
Him and Donnie Ray Crawford and Hunter Jones and Chris Andrews at I-44 Speedway in Oklahoma City. Some of the best racing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know, running 5th, watching it going, oh, man, these guys are good. I couldn't catch them. You know, they would go in and they'd bounce the right rear off the wall getting in and just diamond off the corner.
But that's a great spot to be, is behind those guys, because then you're learning and watching what they're doing, and you're picking up those traits.
Yeah. And, you know, I always say it, but I have beat Chris Bell in a micro. But he's beat me a lot more than I've ever beaten him.
But that doesn't matter, though. You beat him once.
I did.
That's all it's like.
Yeah.
So Stu's been talking about you a little bit on Facebook with me, that he's been talking about coming up here for a while. So he's been in your ear about coming up to Nebraska and doing a little bit of racing.
Yeah, I was kind of torn there back in October. I was trying to decide if I wanted to go on the road with an outlaw team and just turn wrenches, or move to Pennsylvania and go racing, or Stu talked me into coming up here. He's like, dude, you don't want to live on the road. I was like, yeah, you got a point.
Yeah.
I really don't. Not, you know, I'm not saying I'm old. I just don't want to live truck.
That's a hard life.
Yeah.
And turning wrenches isn't driving.
Yeah, you know, and that's the deal. I mean, I like racing. I like the driving aspect, but I'm really good at tuning an engine at the track.
Yeah, but are you happy doing that? That's the.
I am.
You can
I'm
be
happy
good.
Both. You know, I'm kind of, I don't know, like if I ever get hurt where I can't race, I'm still going to find a way to be involved.
Well, there you go.
Guy Forbrook, that dude's a freaking genius in my mind. But yeah,
a lot of people's mind.
Yeah, no joke. But yeah, Stu talked me into coming up here, and I was trying to get a job with Zach over at Speedway, but you know, it didn't work out because I wanted to be around engines, and found a better job at hydraulics company and making good money, and now I can afford to, you know, build a 360 car.
How long you been up here?
3 snowstorms.
Yeah.
Basically, every time he came up, he brought snow with him.
Let's see. I've been up here since February 1st.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So not too long.
Not too long.
It's not much different up here. I mean, you get outside of Omaha and Lincoln, and it's a very slow pace. But it's a community. They love supporting their racing, and you're in for a night and day when you talk about that other track. When you come to Eagle and to some of these surrounding communities, they come in droves.
Yeah, and that's one thing I noticed is, I was at this little bar the other night, and a lady asked me what I did, and I said, well, I work here, but I drive sprint cars. And she was like, oh, wing or non-wing? And I was like, crap.
Yeah.
You know, or hey, what's a sprint car? Well, it's just a dune buggy with a fin.
Yeah.
Favorite win you've had?
Favorite win?
Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah. So
whoop this guy Christopher Bell's butt.
Favorite win, man. Okay. Cowtown, this little quarter-mile track in Kennedale, Texas. Man, that place was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Even in a micro, a quarter-mile track most of the time for a micro is just too big, and you get spread out. And sometimes Cowtown would do that, but if Bo was working the track just right, it was awesome. We had a Texas Triple Crown race. We went and raced Mountain Creek on Friday night in Grand Prairie, Texas, and then we went to Kennedale on Saturday night at Cowtown, and then Sunday was Waco. And they paid you an extra whatever if you finished top. Yeah, swept it, or if you were number one in points after the 3 shows. We go to Mountain Creek, and me and Ramey start next to each other, I think 4th or 5th row in the A, and my car is just a rocket that night, and run a non-wing. And we make it about 4 laps, and I'm running third. And the girl in front of me spun out, had nowhere to go, flipped over the top of her, junked basically the front axle. I mean, every radius rod on the car. And I'm by myself. Parents are still in Wichita Falls. I'm like, crap, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
So I get the car loaded up and end up going to the Smileys there in Kennedale the next day, start working on the car. Get it fixed. I'm literally scaling the car in the parking lot about 30 minutes before hot laps. Go to Cowtown. Car feels really good in hot laps. It's with a wing this time. And we started 10th in the heat race and ran second. And then redrew pole. And Ramey started, I think, right behind me or whatever. And Tyson Hall, Steven Shabester. I mean, I think Harley White was there. I mean, you know, back whenever it was ASCS2 pretty much. Yeah. And walked off, put about a half a straightaway on second, and then it started laying rubber, and my engine was starting to go, and it blew up crossing the line, and ended up getting the win.
Wow.
And, that was a $2,000 paycheck day too, so that's pretty big for a micro.
Yeah.
Out of 65 cars, so it was that win was probably the biggest for me.
Well, Stu, is he going to be working with you in your pits, kind of helping you with your stuff, or are you guys going to be 2 separate teams? What's the plan?
No, I think he's, like he said, he's working on building a 360 car. So we're going to try and help him do that a little bit with whatever we got laying around, give him a hell of a deal on it, and or just here, use it and race it. But yeah, he said he was going to hop over, kind of help us on the 360 stuff, and he's got his 305 car, of course, that he's going to run at Eagle, hopefully more than what he said he was going to run. But, yeah, he's going to help us, and we're going to help him and kind of, you know, get him used to racing all the racetracks that we run at and get him at many different places as we can.
Yeah, we're spoiled up here with racetracks, aren't we?
Yeah, and that's what I told him, you know, and that's what I thought when I was younger. Texas always, you know, they started earlier, they raced longer, but they don't really, I thought they had all these racetracks, and me and Jack used to go down there and race. You know, I guess we just swung through and hit the big ones because that was all there was. Well, that is all there is, you know. Like I told him, I said, we've got 10 or 15 racetracks that are within, you know, if you really reach out, 4.5 hours of Jackson or something like that, 5 hours of Jackson. You know, if you reach out that far. But other than that, you can pretty much try and run 3, maybe even 4 nights a week if you throw in Columbus on a Thursday. You know, especially if they get Husets. Like they say they're going to start it back up. If they get that on a Sunday, you could run 3 nights a week every weekend.
When I tallied it back in 2014, I made a list of all the racetracks in the area. In the state of Iowa, there's 46 racetracks, and in the state of Nebraska, there's 22. Now, Nebraska, Wavelink's not there anymore. You know, there's a couple of tracks that have dropped off since then, but still, to think of 30-plus tracks in Iowa and probably still 20-plus tracks in Nebraska, that's a lot of tracks to pick from. And a lot of them in this area: Crawford County, Shelby, Adams, Southwest Iowa, that kind of stuff. And you know, they're different type tracks. They may be shaped similar, they may be close in size, but they've got characteristics to them that are mean.
Yeah, you know, and that's what makes you a better driver, getting on different racetracks and dealing with different conditions. And you know, you stay at a track for one entire year, and that's the only place you race. You get into a rut. Yeah. And you kind of, I can't really go anywhere anymore because I'm not any good anywhere because I'm stuck in this rut where this is like the only setup I know. This is the only kind of drive that I can feel in my butt anymore in the seat. But you know, and it even made it better as far as, you know, our reaching out with all those racetracks you were just talking about, that the RaceSaver deal came about, and some of these other tracks are starting to pick up on it now. Yeah. So you know, you throw in a full-time 360 schedule with almost a full-time 305 schedule now, and you can hit almost, you know, 20 to 25 different tracks in the year in both different, you know, in both cars.
Well, it's funny that you struggle at Eagle one night, but you go out and run great at I-80 the next night, and you think, what did I do to my car, and how can I apply what I did at I-80 to Eagle? 2 totally different tracks, but maybe you could take something you did to your car and tweak it to fit what works at Eagle.
Yeah, for
sure. And all of a sudden you found that little secret that'll help you get over the hump at Eagle.
Yeah, exactly. And you use just I mean, Nate Weiler, you know, he's worked for me almost 20 years, 15 years, I don't know, till he started driving.
God bless your soul.
Since I was about a freshman in high school.
Yeah, God bless you, child.
Yeah, for
been a
sure.
long
He's
road.
stuck with me. Yeah, it's been a long road.
I've only been friends with him for 4 or 5 years,
Yeah.
and it's been rough.
But I don't know how many different places we had went, and we kind of always seemed to, stick with some certain aspect of what the car liked, but we applied other stuff that we had from other places and ran good with at Eagle or at I-80 or at Jackson, stuff like that. It's all right. It's good to go out and run all those different racetracks and get to deal with the different types of track conditions and everything else.
Chad, you got a girlfriend, wife, kids?
Single.
It makes it easier to make a move like that then.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about bringing somebody along with you. Last time we had a single driver on the radio, we got him hooked up pretty quick. So if you need yourself a nice Nebraska girl.
RacersMingle.com or something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I got kicked out of ChristianMingle.com. So,
I could have picked that out of,
I don't blame on Match either.
Yeah. No, I was married 3 years together with her total. I'm single and not looking for a relationship.
And she
besides
said
with
it's
my
the
race
race car or me. So
Well, it's something like that, I guess. Chad cares to,
Can we hear that story?
elaborate on that.
That story's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of messed up.
I got a bleep button. Don't worry.
You're going to need it.
Yeah. Let's just put it this way. She used to be a sprint car driver.
Okay.
And stopped being about her, started being about me.
Yeah, that doesn't work out very well.
No.
The drivers don't like to shine the limelight very well.
That was part of she was.
Oh, we're starting to get the story
See,
now.
I told you not to bring out the
It's
shovel.
coming around. I'm getting it. I'm starting to get it. Nate, you're married, all right? I know you got kids, right?
Nope, not married.
No, don't you have kids?
I have one kid. She's
Well,
6.
okay.
We race with her on Friday nights out at Eagle.
Yeah.
Full cage cart. So.
and then she scrapes mud on Saturday out at Eagle.
At Eagle, per insurance, they can't have kids in the pits unless if it's special events for people traveling out of town. They allow it. But then after the races are over, she comes in the pits and hangs out and rides 4-wheeler around and stuff like that.
Oh,
so.
RaceSaver, is there an age limit? I mean, do they allow them at like 12 or 14 or something? Or
I think the age limit is 14.
Okay.
And they got to have a waiver signed by the parents.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know there's a waiver if they're under 18, but I just didn't know how young they allowed.
Little cutie, too.
She is a little handful.
You got to keep your eye on her, huh?
Oh, yes.
Little boys chasing her around yet?
Yeah, there's a lot of little boys at her daycare that like to follow her
Yeah.
around.
They
And
just
Dad
want
right
her, they
behind
just want
him.
her go-kart. That's all they want.
Dad right behind her with the shotgun?
Pretty much.
I seen it firsthand at the turkey chase.
Yep.
Yep. Man, you got your hands. We were just, we talked about it. I can't imagine being a parent. I mean, I've got animals. That's all I need. I've got
Being a
3 cats
parent
and a dog.
is probably the most natural thing you could ever do.
Yeah, but I would go crazy if I had a cute little girl like that is a racer at that, and it's at that age where you got to start worrying about boys.
Hopefully not for a while. She's
Yeah.
only 6, so
That's true.
it's definitely not
Let's give her at
jumping on
least
there.
another 20 years before we're both chasing somebody down the street.
Guys, always do appreciate it. Chad, you're welcome to come on the show anytime. Let's get you back on the show and see how your season's going midway through. Nate, love talking to you. Let's
Thank
preview
you.
when you get them white walls done for the RaceSaver Nationals again. And Stu, you're always welcome.
Yeah, for sure.
You
It's
give me
always
a call.
fun to hop on the radio with you guys and talk about what we're going to do or this or that or hell, talking about being a dad. Yeah, or what we've already done.
See, we're going to take a break. We'll be back to finish the show off here on the front stretch.
Racers all over the country are discovering the benefits of powder coating their chassis. Powder coating offers a clean, even finish you will be proud to show off to fans and sponsors. Plus, it's a more durable surface. While looking beautiful, powder coating offers superior protection against corrosive chemicals typically spilled during routine maintenance. Bare frames start at $275 with estimates available if blasting or reworking is needed. Get your quote today by emailing Jordan F. at redoakfabrication.com or by calling 712-623-4911.
Hey, look at that. You're sitting on your couch playing Halo, Madden, or NASCAR while your friends are at Joe's Karting. Each lap is an adrenaline-filled, heart-pumping, white-knuckle experience that you can only get at the Metro's largest indoor karting track. Eco-friendly Honda engines rip you around the professionally designed road course at breakneck speeds. Can you reach the 14-second lap bracket? There's only one way to find out. Put the controller down and get to Joe's Karting, 23rd Avenue in Council Bluffs next to Quaker Steak and Lube.
It's checkers or wreckers as we enter turn 4 on the front stretch, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs.
Welcome back to the front stretch. And it's time to have another Red Oak Fabrication interview. Get on down to Red Oak, Iowa for powder coating at an affordable price. Get your chassis powder coated for just $275. if that's a bare frame. If you have any reworking to be done or sandblasting, it's going to be just a little bit more. Just give Jordan a call today, because a sprint car is going to be different than a modified chassis or a late model chassis. Just a little bit more work to be done. But a flat rate for all chassis, $275. Bare frame, going to get powder coated. 712-623-4911 or email him, jordanf@roanokefabrication.com. Talking with Shayle Bade, driver of the 03 sprint car throughout the area, making her way up through the ranks. And you've been racing the 305 at Eagle Raceway for several years, but made the full switch in 2018 to be a 360 driver. And not a bad year. I believe finished top 5 in the Nebraska 360 sprint cars.
Yep, we'll take it. Not too bad. We ended up finishing 4th in 2-point series, so the Nebraska 360 points and also I-80 points, and then walking away with Rookie of the Year. So I'd say pretty successful year for our first year.
In the Nickel Construction Kaziski Auto Parts Points Fund, which, by the way, at the awards ceremony, I discovered Nickel Construction is your dad.
Yes, it is.
Construction's in your guys' bones, obviously, because you've got your own construction company, and then your dad has his own construction company, too.
Yep, he's been going for about 15 years now, and I've been going about for, I'd say, going on 6 years now for me. So
Man.
We do guttering, siding, windows, roofing, all
the
your exteriors for you. Yep.
Any full construction, like build the house from the bottom all the way up?
Nope,
Just
not yet.
Maybe a storage shed, but
it'll be one, and it'll be ours.
Yeah.
We'll have a house.
But that's going to be nice, though. I mean, that's something I wish I could do. Right now I'm watching a TV show called Off Grid Builders, and I'm watching what these guys are doing, and I'm like, there's no way in hell I could do that. Because first off, I don't know if you've noticed our nice PVC sign holder that I threw together in about an hour and a half. It's not a very straight and square.
It works, though.
Yeah.
It gets the job done.
It got the job done. Unfortunately, I don't believe it would pass code if I was to try to build anything. I mean, imagine me trying to build a house after I built something like this. So I always give a lot of respect to the construction workers, because you guys, you got to be very, very careful with the way you're doing things, because that's somebody's house. That's something that if you don't do it right, it's going to show in a year or two. And it's not going to show by like a gutter hanging down. It's going to be a wet ceiling. And now it's not a quick fix. It's you've got to rip throughout the whole roof and redo a bunch of stuff.
Definitely got to commit yourself. That's the deal.
Yeah. That's Chris Helgett, by the way, of Helgett Construction. By the way, look him up if you need.
All your exterior needs.
Okay. All your exterior needs for Helgett Construction. And primary sponsor for the 03 of Shayle Bade. Shayle, you were talking a little bit about your season last year, finishing 4th in both the point series. But then you also got a surprise award at the Nebraska 360 Banquet.
Yeah, that was a huge surprise. Definitely unexpected. And it was their first year ever doing something like that, so really didn't expect it.
Stan, I believe the official title for that is the Bobby Parker Rookie of the Year honor.
Bobby Parker Memorial Rookie of the Year. Mm-hmm.
And that was something that SSS Motorsports put together as a last-minute kind of surprise points fund.
And a tribute, to Dennis's father, Bob, who was a great racer back in the 50s and into the early 60s and stuff like that. And like I said, a really great honor and something that's going to be a prestigious award for years to come, and you won it for the first time. So got the first one.
Yeah, and a really, really cool banner. You guys got that banner, right?
Yes.
Is that sitting up at the shop?
Not yet. We just built a new shop, so right now we're getting everything organized, and then we'll start hanging our art.
By we just built a new shop, is that
if he
Chris?
can hang gutters, he can hang the banner.
Our crew chief. He just bought a house this year, and so they had a building, and so Chris and them insulated it, and now it's going to be our new shop home.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes,
nice insulated shop
nice.
like that.
Yes.
We had that when I was a kid. And we were growing up we were working on the farm. Dad and I renovated one of the shops and put insulation in the ceiling and in those sidewalls. And then we had the furnace in the farmhouse was need to be replaced, so we put it in the shop, and we had a constant 40 degrees during the wintertime, which 40 degrees doesn't sound like a lot, but that is
a lot better right now outside.
You can take your gloves off when it's 40 degrees.
Exactly.
I had to change my oil in my truck. I'm a freak about it. I change the oil in my truck. Nobody else touches the oil in my truck. And I had to change the oil in my truck a couple days ago, and it got so bad that I had to put a heat lamp on the funnel because the oil got so cold it wouldn't drain into the oil. Yeah, it was. The whole time I'm like, I should have just driven down to Dad's shop.
If you would have used Schaefer lubricants, you probably wouldn't have had that problem.
I think I might have still, but I'm going to switch to Schaefer. Because as much as I love Mobil 1, the price on that Schaefer oil is is amazing right now. So I might have to go buy a couple of 6-packs of those. That 5W30 and the old Silver Surfer is going to be a Schaefer oil running machine now. I wonder if I can get I wonder if I could get a deal if I put that Schaefer sticker on the side of my truck.
Put it on the bumper.
We're at the Precise Racing Products Open House, by the way. We're having a good time out here today, and a lot of great specials. I know this interview is airing afterwards, but all you race drivers out there, make sure you're paying attention. In early March, end of February next year in 2020, be on Facebook and checking out Hoosier Tire Great Plains, because they have an amazing open house with some great deals. Tear-offs, if you buy 5, you get 1 pack free. Zip ties are 10% off. Schaefer oils are 15% off. Just great prices.
Hoosier Tires, as far as the eye can see.
Oh, yeah, you could get this guy as a tire sponsor.
I'm looking at this one right over here. That tire is actually wider than me, which I am very, very happy to finally see a tire that's wider than I am. But anyways, we got to get back to talking about Shayle Bade. Okay, so let me get sidetracked one more time, because I don't know if you can see my screen here, but I got Smoky Bacon pulled up. And we haven't heard an update in a while, so is she...
She's alive and well and just turned 6 on the 22nd.
Is she past the terrible 2s yet?
No, it'll be a terrible 3 for life, unfortunately. And from what
attitude.
I've heard, I don't have kids, but 3s are worse than 2s.
Really?
Unfortunately, pigs have the IQ of a 3-year-old. So lucky me. Do your research.
So do some drivers.
The snow?
No, she hates the snow. Every time it's cold and I know it's really cold and snowy, all I can think of is, yep, my pig is definitely peeing in the house today.
Our cat, we
I've
have a
seen
cat
some
that
memes like that on Facebook.
Yeah, our cat it loves to be outside. She's an indoors cat, but she bolts for the door every time. And it's so funny, like days like we're recording today where it's snowing, she takes 3 steps outside, turns around and runs right back inside. And she's like, all right, that was a mistake. I'm done. That was fun.
My
but
cat
then an hour
don't want
later,
nothing to do with outside. He'll come down and look out the door, and you come walking up, and he's all happy to see you, and you open the door, and it's to the top of the stairs. He don't want nothing to do with outside. He will not go out.
I don't blame him.
So let's talk about 2019 plans to run the Nebraska 360 schedule again.
Yep, that is the plan. And then we kind of have a short series this year, so then we're going to jump into the 305 a little bit. And instead of going and finding a lot of 360 shows, which we did last year, we're just going to kind of stay local, save a little bit of money since we're getting married this year. It's getting a little expensive.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that part. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I don't think I've got to talk to you guys since.
Yeah.
Because I talked to you
before,
like a week or 2 before it happened, and we had this big, long conveation about,
if he's ever going to do it.
Well,
he's going to buy a car, buy a trailer, buy everything but a ring.
That it's okay that you guys have been together for a really long time, and that you didn't necessarily need to make that big commitment, because, I mean, it's just a piece of paper at a courthouse somewhere.
Yeah, I think the car and the motor said it all.
Right, and we both seem to be on the same page, because I'm definitely in a no pressure situation to marry my girlfriend, and then and then you went and ruined it, Chris.
I'm getting some pressure, trust me.
Not from I.
Dan used to always say, I'll get married after Chris and Shayle get married.
And here we go.
It's happening now.
Yeah.
October, so better get on it.
Hey, let me give you a little tip. Don't get married in February. That didn't work out great for the Bridges. I don't know if you saw the pictures of Jake Bridge on Facebook. He got married last weekend.
Oh no!
During that giant snowstorm.
With about 20% attendance.
But they had it. But it made all the
it made
stations.
Channel 6 did a big story on them getting married that night, and how I think they had projected somewhere around 600 people to be at the wedding, and there was probably somewhere around 100. So there was plenty of free beer and food. That's what I meant. Yeah, free food. Yeah. So I forgot to even ask them if they got to take the leftovers home with them, because some places will let them and some places won't.
They probably had so much I didn't even know what to do with it.
It depends how you cater it.
Yeah. Some places won't let you because of I assume it's because of health care. Anyways, we're getting sidetracked again.
Look at the bright side, though. You're kind of cultivating a lifetime sponsor.
That's right.
Sponsor and car owner.
It's all about the relationships.
You can't fire the driver.
Don't make that car owner mad.
No.
Don't make that driver mad.
Oh, I won't.
That's what he's got to worry about.
Hey, hang on, real quick. He just said, "Oh, I won't."
Yeah.
It's not that easy, is it?
No, it's not.
It's recorded.
But he's getting it.
Okay.
Slow but sure. 7 years later, we're making a little bit of progress.
So the next time he makes you mad, just call me. I'll get you that audio.
Perfect.
Oh, I won't.
It's there forever now.
Yeah.
Chris, I talked to you a little bit. You've been involved in racing for a while now, but now you're getting really hands-on. And in the last year, you guys ran full-time at Eagle. I got to watch you guys kind of really work it, and you got very in-depth with not just being at the track with her and supporting her, but also being one of the crew members and turning wrenches and recommending changes.
Well, last year was my full time getting on, getting my hands on the car, working on everything. Prior years I helped, but, I could have got a little bit more involved. But once you start buying your own stuff and you start putting together your own cars, you start seeing what's going on.
All of a sudden you get an opinion of what changes need to be made.
It's a lot of work, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of time.
Are you planning on continue to get more involved and
I'm as involved as you can get, I think, as far as financially and working on the car and going to the racing.
Well, because I know
setting up the cars. I mean,
Shayle, your dad was very involved with the race operation for a long time, and a big reason why you're where you are in your career. But now you guys are kind of starting to step out just a little bit, and there's nothing bad about it. It's just kind of your turn to now start to take over the operation. I think, Chris, that's probably where you came in, is taking over for a lot of what Butch did.
Exactly.
Well, Dad really didn't want to go 360 racing is what it came down to.
I was going to leave that part out. But there's nothing wrong with saying the whole story.
Right. Yeah. So we wanted to kind of do bigger and better things, and he wasn't exactly.
It's a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of traveling.
He wasn't ready to move on. So
well, I know that both your sisters want to move up into the next level, but I think your dad is being a dad, and he doesn't want his daughters
to
being
feel
put in that much danger. Well, but being put in that much danger because.
He wanted to give them the same opportunity that he gave me.
Yeah.
So 19 years ago, we started this, and one sister doesn't race anymore because she got a full-time job at a hospital and what she's going to school for. So kudos to her. And then Chantel's still racing, trying to figure out what she wants to do, where she wants to be. And she does want to move up, but I don't know how far she wants to move up for because she's got a lot of practice ahead of her.
Yeah, and I know talking to her, she's a little frustrated because she wants to go and race multiple tracks. And in one of the tracks, she really wants to come down the road and race at I-80 so she can get 2 nights a weekend with 2 different tracks. But your dad's a little apprehensive. He doesn't like that speed that I-80 brings with it.
Yeah, that's a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then a lot of work.
Yeah.
Time, and him being a business owner, he doesn't exactly have the time. So that's kind of a little restraint.
I do in a sense kind of feel bad for your dad, and I still want to have him on the show because I want to have this long conversation because the poor man's got 3 daughters. 4 daughters. 4 daughters.
Yeah.
I mean,
poor guy. I know. And then 2 female dogs. Like, how much worse can it get?
No, right? three female dogs now.
Oh yeah, 3 female dogs and a wife. That poor guy.
Yeah. There is no testosterone running around that house.
No.
It's all estrogen. I mean, but God bless your dad. I mean, he's done a lot for all 3 daughters' racing careers, and he's always, from what I can tell, he's always been incredibly supportive of you guys.
Yes,
you girls.
He has. That's one thing we are grateful for.
Yeah.
Do you imagine how he would have
to do? We've got to do.
Do you imagine how he would have been with a son?
Well, I was the first one. He transformed me.
Yeah.
Like, I got 4 girls, and now we're gonna have 1 boy.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You're kind of the tougher of the group.
Yeah, I mean, I've had to pull my way. That's for sure.
But we've often joked about you're very much into weightlifting and exercise and staying healthy. And I've made it a point to make sure I never make you mad. Because your arms...
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Your arms are bigger than Dan's arms.
Well, I think Ronda Rousey would have a tougher time showing up stronger arms than you. I mean, it's frightening to sit across of an interview table and worry if I'm going to say something.
Like a beast. People are probably like, "Oh my god."
Well, he's terrified of McKenna Hazy.
Yeah.
Because she's into the karate chopping and all that kind of stuff.
She does those warrior ninja stuff, and that's just scary.
Good workout.
Yeah.
Come try it sometime.
Good
Free week with me.
Have you
Good
seen
Life
my belly?
Fitness.
Have you
Hey.
seen the belly?
All the more reason to get started today.
That's a good point. My girlfriend's on this kick that we got to have our Mexico body because we're going in June. And my Hector is what she calls my belly, is being very persistent.
Have you arranged the nights off at the racetrack?
I have.
Okay.
That's the reason why I did the schedule, is because I didn't have to tell Joe and Lisa why I needed that night off.
Dan's on a pretty regular workout with 12-ounce curls, though.
Right.
I mean, he's got some biceps.
One at time.
Yeah. Anyways.
Thirsty Thursday rears its ugly head once again.
That prime rib at Horseman's Park is probably a good reason for 20 of my 50 pounds overweight. That prime rib is just.
That's
I can't
Hector's
help
favorite?
but eat the whole thing. Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, it's so good. You've switched jobs within the last year and a half, I believe, right?
PDR, paintless
Yes.
dent removal?
Yeah.
Yes. It'll actually be a year, April 1st, which is crazy. So time has flown.
Good.
So I
Going
work out
good.
Bigler Motors, which is
Mhm.
also one of my sponsors, which makes it really nice and convenient for racing season. I do all the PDR, which is paintless dent removal, light collision repair, any painting that needs to be done, chip touch-ups, and interior repairs.
I've got a couple of dings on the top of my truck that I might have you look at.
On your roof?
Yeah.
Do you get on your floorboard and look at your roof a lot?
No.
Then I wouldn't even worry about
Don't
it.
bother. Yeah. Well, I figured there's probably gonna be another hailstorm in the next year or two, anyways. That I'll just turn it all in at once.
There you go.
So.
Exactly.
I got a couple of dings in the hood, which, by the way, your graphics covered up 2 or 3 of them. So
Did a good job, yeah.
Did a great job. I appreciate that.
So
By the
Sam
way,
said, well, these stripes will go better here over the dent than they would over here.
racing the Nebraska 360s. You did a lot at. You wanted to do more at Knoxville, and you raced quite a few times there weekly, and then with the I believe with the race the Nationals, the 360 Nationals. Is that the plan again, or are you going to stay closer to home?
We didn't get to run the 360 Nationals this year.
Had an engine issue, right?
That would have been my dad's vehicle
Yeah.
or
Okay.
car.
Okay.
He had somebody driving his car, which was my old car.
Okay.
But we didn't get to run it this year just because we had a really good friend's wedding, which weddings really only come once. Nationals will be here again next year.
Well, I mean, anymore they happen 2 or 3 times, but that's side story.
Right? But we figured we better go to that, and then we weren't having good luck at Knoxville up to Nationals, so we figured we would just chalk it up and try again next year.
Yeah.
Knoxville started out really good for us and then just kind of trickled on downhill, but
It has a habit of doing that.
So
it's
it was beginner's
frustrating.
luck, and then
Yes, that's exactly what it was. It was beginner's luck, all felt really good, and then just kept getting worse and worse.
well, because you kept trying to get faster and faster.
That's
and
exactly
went
what
backwards and
happened.
backwards.
360 Nationals on the radar for this year. Do you want to go race some more races at Knoxville this year, or you kind of mentioned you wanted to stay closer to home? I imagine that haul over to Knoxville, the expenses at Knoxville a little bit
The
higher.
wear and tear and everything about
Yeah.
Knoxville is expensive. I would like to do the 360 Nationals, but I do believe that that Nationals that falls over the Jackson Nationals, or is that the 305?
No, that's 305 Nationals.
305.
Yeah.
Okay, so Belleville Nationals. So
Belleville is the same weekend as the 360 Nationals.
yep. And I
And,
might have
and Jackson Nationals actually are the same weekend as the 305 Nationals at Eagle,
yeah.
the RaceSaver Nationals. Yeah.
So it's kind of pick your battle.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do yet.
No
Not
one,
sure.
no
Not-
one
not
is sure.
We'll play it by ear.
Yep.
Yeah.
Depending on how our season's going.
If you're up in points in the 360s, you go to Jacksonville, and
Yep.
if you're not, you stay home.
Jackson?
Yeah, Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jackson kind of killed us.
Jacksonville.
Jackson killed us last year a little bit.
Yeah, I had
Johnsonville.
Johnsonville.
That's what I was thinking.
He was thinking Brats, yeah.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, I had one particular night at Jackson didn't go too well.
No,
No,
well,
yeah.
two nights actually. We had a blown motor one night, and then the other
That one
night,
hurt.
Shayle got in her bad wreck.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
put a giant dent in the wall.
Yep, I stuck my wing right in there and left it.
That was an oucher.
Yeah, that did hurt. I'm not
Feel
gonna
it the
lie.
next day pretty well?
From the next
You
week,
know,
probably.
Actually, how it went is the day it hurt, Friday, Saturday, Sunday hurt. By Monday, I was so good, I ended up going to kickboxing.
Really?
So
But that's what the working out does for you.
Absolutely.
it was bad, but then it got really good. I was
Yeah.
surprised of how good I felt.
All right, Shayle Bade, driver of the 03, going to kind of hit most of the Nebraska 360 races. When's your merchandise? Are you working on getting new merchandise for 2019?
Yes, that should be up here soon as we finalize the design of the car, which should be this week when my graphic guy gets back into town. And then I can send that off to T-shirts, and then we can get T-shirts going. So hopefully here in about 3 weeks, we'll have some new merchandise up.
Where's your web store at? Are you an MRP girl?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure am.
That a girl. It's a good, easy, convenient product because you get to
A
just.
lot less stress. That's for
I
sure.
tell you, it's a big lifesaver because you guys don't have to carry around 500 shirts in the hauler.
That is nice, but it's also kind of hits and misses.
Yeah.
a lot of people want to buy it at the track, which when you don't have it at the track, it's kind of sucks. So last year I started doing it all online, which was really nice. I didn't have to deal anything with shirts, which I really liked. But then I seen that a lot of people did want to buy it at the trailer, which since I didn't have. And then I ended up stocking some in the trailer.
Well, and you can stock a lot smaller inventory.
Yep, that's exactly
half a
what I
dozen of
did.
each size or whatever.
And that worked out really well. So I will keep that in mind for this year and already have them stocked in the trailer before the season starts.
Shayle Bade Racing 03 on Facebook. What's the website again?
www.shaylebaderacing03.com.
Oh, so the same thing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing how that all works together.
Keeping it simple here.
Once again, that was Shayle Bade, driver of the 03 Nebraska 360 Sprint Car. Make sure to find her online, ShayleBadeRacing03.com. We got to wrap up turn number 4 and get you back to your Sunday. So here is this time last year at Martinsville. Clint Boyer was finally able to snap his winless streak and get his first win at Stewart Haas Racing in the number 14 by picking up the win. He finished 5th in Stage 1 and 2nd in Stage number 2, walked away with 5 bonus playoff points. Kyle Busch came home in 2nd, Ryan Blaney in 3rd, Martin Truex Jr. in 4th, Kevin Harvick in 5th, Joey Logano, Alex Bowman, AJ Allmendinger, Chase Elliott, and Brad Keselowski rounded out your top 10. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finished 37th, Darrell Wallace 34th, Austin Dillon 30th. Not a real big shocking race. I think a lot of people were surprised that Clint Boyer was finally able to get that win knocked off and get that monkey off his back.
Yeah. And when they came back in the fall was the race that Joey Logano and Martin Truex battled coming out of turn 4. Joey moved Martin, and Denny Hamlin actually snuck in for second. He about got by both of them, but didn't quite get Logano. So if there's any payback, for anything so far this year, this is kind of like the first opportunity to get that kind of stuff done. So.
Yeah, this is definitely a payback race. It's early enough in the year that the message is sent, but it's not season ending, and you've got less of a chance of really destroying a lot of stuff and hurting somebody. You wreck somebody at Martinsville, a lot less speeds, so the safer barriers, all the safety equipment has a better chance to do its job. So you could see some of that chrome horn coming into work today, like you just mentioned. As you said, Joey Logano picked up the win. He finished 2nd in Stage 1, won Stage number 2 and the race. Denny Hamlin snuck by Martin Truex Jr. to pick up that 2nd spot, and Truex Jr., when he was driving that 78 machine, finished 3rd. Kyle Busch came home in 4th, Brad Keselowski in 5th. Kurt Busch, Chase Elliott, Ryan Newman, Daniel Suarez, and Kevin Harvick rounded out your top 10. That's going to do it for us today. Don't forget, US 36 Raceway in Cameron, Missouri, or Osborne, Missouri, is on for Friday night. As far as the recording of this show is concerned, make sure to follow the Facebook page. Rumble in the Bull Ring night number 1, Friday night at US 36 Raceway, and then come back on Saturday night. The War Power I Series and the Sprint Series in Nebraska kick off the 2019 Eagle Raceway season with the Rumble in the Bull Ring night number 2. Make sure to get more information. Oh, and don't forget the Crack a Cold One at Adams County Speedway is scheduled to be this weekend, so make sure you find out more information on those 3 races. And by gosh, if the races are on, get out and support your local dirt racing, because they could definitely use it. That's going to do it for us this weekend. For Dirk Houston, I'm Dan Taylor. Join us next weekend. We've got a safety roundtable scheduled, and then we'll get to all those interviews that we had been working on at the World of Wheels and the Precise Racing Products Open House. Plus, we'll recap the results at Martinsville, and we'll preview the race at Texas. We'll do it all again next weekend. Once again, for Dirk Houston, I'm Dan Taylor. This has been The Front Stretch on AM 590.
The camper flying 18 flags is in. The guys on pit road are in. Second graders with mohawks, in. Bratwurst for your 25 closest friends. Bring it in. And because it's BYOB, your soft cooler is always in. The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series race at Kansas Speedway. Saturday, May 11th, under the lights. Tickets at kansasspeedway.com. You in?
Every race car driver has run into the same problem. It's well past normal parts store closing hours, but you need that one to finish your car. The guys who brought you White Knuckle Racing by the River bring you Joe's Karting Racing Parts and Tire Store. Open until 10 p.m. Monday to Thursday and open until 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. A parts store that fits your after-hours schedule, and you can turn a few laps at Joe's Karting while you're waiting for your part to get pulled from their warehouse. joeskarting.com for more information.
The official watering hole of the Front Stretch has you covered any day of the week with the best wings, great burgers, and amazing steaks. Each weekday from 4 to 6 is happy hour, featuring $1 off draft and well drinks plus $4 Luberitas. Mondays are kids' night. Tuesdays are all-you-can-eat wings for $12.95, and the lube even delivers to the Council Bluffs area. Like Quaker Steak and Lube Council Bluffs on Facebook for a full list of weekly events.
Get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Mid-America Drive, Council Bluffs.
This has been the Front Stretch Radio Show, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. To contact Dan or Dirk, find them on Facebook at The Front Stretch or email them at frontstretch590@gmail.com. If you missed any part of today's show or want to hear a previous show, subscribe to the Joe's Karting YouTube page, where you can find almost every Front Stretch show.